Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin and David.
David Wynn.
And we're here to talk about how to have great success in any market. Today, guys, we've got a really great guest. And David, I'm going to let you do the honors on this one, brother. Who do we have today?
Well, we got a very special lady. Her name is Lori Ward. She's a 30-year vet in the industry. I think she knows more about this business than anybody I've ever come across. So she's not just a realtor, but she's an investor. She does rental property. She's
Entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur. She does it all. I mean, she's a lot of us only seen two kind of demise, the 2009 crash and the crash of 2022, right?
Sure.
I think she saw 1990, the
.com,
the 80s. So
I bought my first house in the 80s.
So you're just getting started is what we're trying to say.
I was 12 when I started.
I love it. Well, tell us a little bit about that. So where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Florida.
Okay.
Originally from Miami, then Fort Lauderdale, and then Tampa. Went to USF.
Very cool.
Bought my first house at 24.
So not 12.
No, I lied a little bit. No, 24. And I got asked questions. I was single.
Yeah.
I bought my first house. And I got asked questions like, did your dad buy you the house?
Right.
Did your ex-husband leave you the house?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm 24. I bought it by myself.
I'm a grown
So it was
up.
very rare back then in the 80s
Yeah, I
when
can
the
imagine.
market, of course, the interest rates were 18 and I got a 12. And
Let's catch that real quick. What were the interest rates?
18. They actually had
18.
been 21, came down to 18 while my house was being built. And then I got a 12.
That was a
and
refi boom.
I thought I was did
18.
well. Yeah. I'm like,
That's
I
awesome.
got a 12. And it's never been that since then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. Okay. So you get started. You're in your 20s and you buy a house. And how does that segue into the real estate industry? Did you start right in with real estate then?
No,
Or
I did get my Florida license, but I never used it
Okay.
for other people.
Right.
I use it for my own knowledge. And then when I moved to Texas years later to get back with my college boyfriend after 15 years, then he allowed me to get my license. And I kid about that. But
I was going to say allow?
Yeah. I don't
no,
think.
I mean,
I know you.
it allowed me to get my license. But yeah,
There was
so I
an
was able.
opportunity,
Yeah,
right?
so I was able to not have to need an income.
That's right. Yeah. So it lets you segue
And so
into the
my
industry.
husband- yeah,
What had you
so-
done before the real estate?
I had been a photographer and a videographer. I used to be on that side of the camera.
How's it feel?
And
The
it
table's
feels
being
weird
turned.
being on this side of the camera. It's a little warm too with that light.
Yeah. No. You'll get used to it. I
Yeah,
promise.
yeah. But so it was fun. I videotaped weddings but
Love that. Now you did that all the way up until moving to Dallas.
I did different jobs and I was in sales. I worked for Fujifilm in sales,
Oh, cool.
traveling and
Yeah.
sold filming
So
cameras.
all on the video side
So
of the industry.
So I felt like real estate allowed me to
John,
do.
watch out.
Real estate allowed me to use my video and photography skills as well as some
That's right.
sales and really I don't feel like a salesperson. I just feel like somebody helping people
guiding
get what they
people.
want.
Yeah,
Right.
you're guiding people. And so let me ask you that. So did you do some of the photography for the homes when you first got into the industry?
I did, and
Very cool.
I still do some of
You
them
do?
myself.
Okay.
Yes. to
So
this day.
entrepreneur.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So you moved to Dallas. What year is this?
Gee, 1992.
1992.
90, yeah. I came-
1992. And in Dallas, Fort Worth, so you're in the heart of Dallas, or what part of Dallas did you move into?
Plano. I've been in Plano
Plano?
for 30 years. I've been an agent since I hit the ground.
Were there
31 years.
even homes in Plano in 92?
Barely.
I was gonna
We had
say.
fields behind our house,
That's
but
right.
now it's all grown up.
Yeah, I
it's-
remember
it's-
coming out here in the 90s. I had a cousin that lived in Flower Mound, and it's right past where the Louisville Mall is now, and it was literally fields and fields and fields. And then and I was like, why is he moving here? Like, I don't
like what's Plano? And it's plain. I mean, it's Plano. But it was fields behind our house for the longest time. And when they started building the neighborhoods, we would take our bikes and take the kids and go bike riding.
That's right. We do
before
that on
everything
our. We have
was built.
a family ATV. We have a mule, and we'll take it out and we'll just go driving through all the lots.
We didn't have a mule, but we did have
love it.
bikes.
Yeah. No, it's great. We do the bikes too, but sometimes it's fun to get out there and do a little
Yes.
dirt track with the kids. I think it's
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
So you get started in the 90s here in Dallas. You started in the real estate industry, and you just knocked it out of the park first year.
No, well, you know what? The first year, so I was in an office where super nice people. I didn't know it was good or bad, and I didn't know what
Yeah, no,
what
you're just getting started.
what the barometer was. So I sold like 12 houses in my first 10 months, and everybody's telling me how good I'm doing.
great.
And I
Yeah,
thought,
that's
well,
great.
okay, but they're cheap houses, so there's not, and anyway, I didn't know what the barometer was. So, and then it just kept snowballing from
You're building
there,
your customer
yes.
basis at that point in time too, right? You're just getting started. You're learning what you're doing. You're having good success, but at the end of the day, it's not exactly where you want to be, right? And what agency were you with at this point in time?
I was with Century 21.
Century 21. Yeah, an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah. And then after the first year, I was so, after those 10 months, I thought, I'm kind of tired of foundation issues because they're older houses.
Right.
Foundation issues and termites and roof leaks. And so I went actually to work for builders. So I went to work for Centex.
Very
I don't know if
cool.
I'm allowed to say these things.
You can. No,
yeah.
you can.
We plug
Good.
everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So I worked for Centex for a few years, and that's when I, started having babies. And then daycare was, not always good with chicken pox and everything.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
went back into general real estate so I could be home
Have a little
with
more
the
flexibility.
kids more and
Yeah.
keep them from getting sick.
Yeah, well, I get it. I've got a house full of kids too. I've got a baby Kai who's 16 months. I've got a son who's 7, Jackson, and I've got a 9-year-old at home, and then I've got some older ones too. I've got a Dylan in college, and he's 20, and his sister Mackenzie, who's 21. And I've
You've
got a
got the range.
23-year-old who lives in Kansas. So at the end of the
Wow.
day, I've seen that side,
Yes,
and
yes.
sickness with young kids. It's hard to keep it out, man. They're in the public schools,
Yeah.
and they're going to the daycares, and they're running into to whatever's out there. So you decide, hey, I'm going to go back to real estate, have more flexibility, and then all of a sudden you just you blew up, right? Is that?
It just kept going, and repeat referrals were the the mainstay of my business, actually. Just a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's been growing for years, and some of my clients even become agents, and I help them along, and I'm with Keller Williams now.
That's awesome.
So several of them are with
In the
Keller
Keller
Williams.
family.
Yes.
Good stuff.
How long have you been with Keller?
25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you haven't left.
I haven't. No.
Have you read the book?
Somewhat.
We've heard a lot of stuff about the book.
There's
so.
a lot of good books, and I have kind of skimmed through all of them. If I try to read, I fall asleep because it's usually late at night. But
Get Audible. You can
so
just let
I
them
know,
play in the
and
car,
I do
right?
have that, and I play it in the car.
I love it. I love it. So you start with Keller Williams, and great. It's apparently a great transition for you because you're still here, right?
It is, yeah, a lot of good training. They've.
So, do you
I
know,
was there.
Robert
I
Mesh?
started with 60 agents in the office, and
Okay.
now there's like 450, 550.
there's
I
a
mean,
good ton,
it fluctuates, and now there's also a lot more offices.
We had a gentleman on here, Robert Mesh. I don't know if you know him, but he does a lot of the training stuff for one of the Keller Williams divisions. So
Yeah.
I know the name. I don't know him personally, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of us out there. A lot.
Yeah, no, it's a big team. It's a big team.
it
But
is.
that's how people know they've got great support. And
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but great things about the leadership with Keller.
Yeah.
The ability to really learn and grow your business. Within, right.
There's always classes. There's always sharpening
Yeah.
the saw. There's, which you need to keep doing that. And I mean, even this podcasts didn't exist when I got in the business.
That's right.
So
Yeah. No, but
Things
these
keep
are
growing.
these are good because they're good for educational purposes, right?
Right.
Educational for other agents, educational for other mortgage professionals, but also
Right,
for
right.
consumers who don't know how to get started in real estate and maybe buy their first house, or who to trust, or who to go to.
Right.
And a podcast is a great resource for that because they get to hear the different people that we bring on the show and what they're doing,
Yeah,
and go,
you're-
man, I really like
you're
this
doing
person.
an awesome job. Yeah, it's awesome.
We appreciate that. We do. So, but you do something special too. So you help families into homes, but you've also you've got your own kind of business with real estate as well, right? What have you been doing?
Well, I have rental properties, and I help my families, that buy their own home and think out, further than that to actually help them build their portfolios and get their investment properties going. And we also help with the leasing. We used to do the property management. My husband retired a couple of years ago, but
So you're educating homeowners.
always
become
everything
investors.
I do seems to be real estate. Ask my kids.
Well, that's been a big part of your business now for how long? The rental side of it.
Well, I had rental properties before I was a realtor, so
Right.
yeah, 30, 40, 35, 40. I hate to say how long, but
Well, we briefly talked.
A long time.
And you were saying about 50%.
We're airing this in
And then-
1996,
yeah,
by
this
the
is
way.
an old
So, yeah.
podcast. No, I'm just kidding. But I also I do Airbnbs. I have the Airbnbs.
Right.
And I did that at first just for fun. And then I realized this is pretty cool.
Makes
and then
real money.
yeah, it brings in more than just the rental, the normal market rent. But
That's right.
so I help other people with that as well. So I'm just entrenched.
So how does
you
that
know?
work, right? So I'm interested in buying an investment property, and I plan to do this for an Airbnb, right? That's what my intent is. How do you select that property, right? How do you pick the right property, know that it's going to be marketable, and what are kind of the qualities that you look at, when you're going, hey, look, this is the one I want to start with.
Sometimes it's just where I want to go, where I want to be.
That's what I was looking
So-
for. Yeah, so you're kind of picking
want to
things
be near a
based off
beach,
of.
so I'll pick. And
There
it doesn't
we
have
go.
to be in your backyard.
Yeah.
I have places in Florida on the beach, near a beach. We just bought one in the Villages, which is for old people like me. No, I'm just kidding. And I fly in and I like to furnish it.
Yeah.
Just it's fun. It's fun.
So you're buying a property, you get to go out there and you get to build it out the way that you want it, right?
And then you get to use it
And then you get
when
to
you
use
want
it
to,
when
and
somebody
your
else
family
is
gets
not
to use
there.
it, and you get
Yeah.
to take a vacation.
So where all do you have these rental properties at? You mentioned it, but what states are it? Just in Florida and Texas?
I
or-
had one in Crystal Beach, Texas.
Okay.
And I recently sold it. Market's, doing well.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta know when to
Yeah.
when to cash out.
When to hold
right?
them, when to fold them.
That's it. Little Kenny Rogers, right?
And so Panama City Beach, I like going there, and
That's cool.
Fort Lauderdale area, and
Yeah.
Tampa, and the Villages. It was
You
just
like
just
the
north of
tropical.
Orlando.
You like it tropical. Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to somebody up north the other day. I've never been to New York, right? People are like, you've never been to New York? I'm like, I haven't. And they're like, why not? And I said, well, business has never brought me there, and I like the beach.
Yeah.
I like the beach. We like the tropical stuff, so that makes perfect sense. So really, your business is also a passion because you get to vacation.
I get to live it.
And
I get to.
you truly live the investments.
I get to be there, and there's other places. I had them in Texas. I have one outside of Austin, so Texas and Florida, because I know Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed to other states. So you don't have to be in the state. You just find the right management company, the right
right.
cleaning company, or they find the cleaning company. Some of them I do my own Airbnb on the phone and just hire the cleaning people. So
I was just talking to my videographer about this yesterday.
Everything's on the phone.
And I said, you know what? I've got a great guest that's coming up tomorrow, and you're going to want to pick her brain because at the end of the day, she may be able to help you figure that out. And that's why we thought it'd be great to have you here on the podcast, because there may be people out there that are looking for, how do I get into investing and how do I select that property? And yeah, I don't have the resources to manage this thing, but it sounds like if they need some answers to those questions,
they can call me.
they can call Lori. I love
They
it.
can definitely call me.
I love it.
Well, let's talk about that. On the investment side, we talked about this I think as recently as last week. Have you seen a slowdown at all, even in this market? Or are people still buying houses? Or are people still investing in
they're
properties?
still buying and they're still investing. The rates are high. What I tell people is you buy
But are
at
the
today's
rates high, right?
Well,
they're not
they
18,
think
21%.
they're not. I've been most of my rental properties were at 7.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
7 and 8. But so it's what they're not used to. They got spoiled with the 3s and 2s and 3s and 4s. But so they think their interest rate's high. But what I say is you buy it at today's price, because if the interest rate goes down, the prices are going to go up. You can't change your price, but you can change your interest rate.
Yes,
so when
ma'am.
the interest rate goes down, you refinance.
Yeah.
So buy it today before the prices get even higher.
I love it coming from a realtor
Yeah.
because we preach that every single day as a lender.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true. You buy what you want, you marry the house, you date the rate. When the market rebounds, you refinance, you get yourself in an improved position. And before the show, you and I were talking about that. And, we've actually brought a product back to the market that you said you used to utilize, when you got into
It
the
was
industry.
around
Yeah.
when, way back when I was buying houses. Where you don't. Oh, well,
You don't have a
I'll
title
let you
policy.
tell 'em.
Yeah, the attorney opinion letter, which allows for you to purchase a property without the title policy. And and save potentially thousands of dollars in the process. Now, you wouldn't want to do this on a home that hasn't had the land research for the last 20 years, but in a lot of the neighborhoods that we service, these homes have come up in the
They're
last 2,
cookie
3,
cutter,
4, 5
yes.
years. Exactly. That property has had a
been-
title policy on it. They've done their due diligence.
They have many times sometimes.
To search for
Sometimes
that
many
title and
times.
make sure there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And now you can actually utilize that attorney opinion letter in lieu of the title policy. So for the consumer that's saying, hey, look, well, the rates are high and I don't want to have to pay fees to refinance. Well, attorney opinion letter says, well, you don't have to pay that title policy fee and we don't charge lender fees. So now that individual gets to buy the house that they want, marry that home, and date that rate. And when the time comes, they can refinance.
And it's more affordable to
it's not
refinance.
as costly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what can you tell our audience? We have a lot of realtors out there. This economy has affected a lot of people. Business has been slow for some, but while others we're booming.
flourishing.
We're actually flourishing. I'm having my best month right now. I know you've had some good months. What can you tell the people out there that are struggling? How do you weather economies like this? Because you've seen a couple.
I have, yes. And there's what I say is people aren't going to live in a box. They're going to.
They're always gonna buy.
Well, I shouldn't say. Typically.
Well, these days,
gonna-
you might actually live in a box, right?
Sorry about
Cargo,
that.
yeah, the
I mean,
cargoes.
in other words, they're going to rent something or they're going to buy something.
Yeah.
And so if you can help them rent now and then they're a customer for the future when they
right.
are ready, you kind of can help them get ready to purchase, help them get their credit score where they need to be.
Yeah.
And every little thing you do along the way is growing your business for the future.
That's 100%.
So-
I think a lot of people go, man, I want the money right
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
And those people, they're short-lived, because that's what
that's
shows
true.
up on the client side. They see it, they feel it, they know it's just a transaction. But what you're talking about, and this is what we hear from most of the successful people that we talk to, is you're nurturing your consumers, you're helping them make right decisions, you're getting them prepared to be able to purchase a home at the right time, and you're educating them. And because of that, not only are they happy with the transaction when they make it, and ecstatic about the service that you provided, but they're going to give you referrals, and they're going to
Right.
come back again and again, which is probably how you get a lot of your business, right?
Most of my business is repeat and referrals.
Yeah.
And for years. And it just grows. It grows. And people now, actually, people call me back for their second, third home. But now I'm actually getting the kids of the people
Yeah,
that
that's
bought
right.
many years ago.
Yeah, because they're growing up and they're going, nope, you go to Lori. She's the one, right? She's going to make sure you have the right experience, get paired up with the right partners, and find the right home at the right time for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me talk about this real quick. So for people that are on the fence, right, because we do have some people that are renting properties and they may be a little scared to move into the market because the rates are higher, right?
Right.
But you're an investor. So one of the things that I think you can educate people about is how does that work? When you purchase a property, does it just stay flat in value?
No, that's my retirement nest egg is all real estate.
Yeah.
A lot of people have different opinions. They want to put it in stock or they want to put it
Sure.
in gold or silver or whatever. But mine has grown very well in real estate over the years. And, we have quite a few properties between here. And, I mean, there's a lot of people that have tons more than me. But,
Sure.
So we're pretty happy with our portfolio. And it's,
But at the end of the day, let's talk about that, right? Now, the last couple of years, the increase in value was not normal, right? 10,
that
15,
was
20%.
COVID helped us.
It was an
with-
accelerator.
As if we were investors, it really helped us.
Absolutely.
So and people were still buying and
Yeah.
going crazy over full price.
They were.
Well over full price. Supply and demand. You
right.
heard all that. People they can go live anywhere. Now I want to live in Texas. I want to live in Florida. I don't want to
right.
be in the cold, in the snow.
But traditionally, properties increase in value, right?
They do, yes. And it might be a slow growth, or it might be, and the last few years was a very rapid growth.
But
Very
what kind of growth do you get when you're in an apartment?
zero.
Zero.
And you may not even get your deposit back in a rental house.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I had one lady years ago that she was selling her house. She had some health issues, and she only owned it for maybe a couple years. And at closing, she got a check for $34,000, and she was crying because she had been a renter before that. She's like,
right.
I've never gotten anything. In fact, she was ready. When I met her, she was ready to give it back to the bank because
Yeah.
of her health issues.
Yeah.
She just said, I can't do this anymore. And I'm
Right.
like, what? I don't even remember. She was a referral. So I'm like, do not give it back to the bank.
That's
you
right.
have equity.
Yeah.
I don't even know if she knew really what equity
What
was.
equity was, yeah.
But at closing, she was crying. That was like the most money she's ever had in her life. So stuff like that. There's
Generational wealth.
It's nice to be able to help people. I've had quite a few people that were ready to give the house back to the bank.
Yeah.
And I stepped in. Some walk away with 100,000. Some walk away with 20,000. But there's always, you should definitely have equity. Now,
That's
this is
right.
even in the leaner times when they didn't think they had equity.
Yeah.
And they do.
Well, and that's because Lori Ward was there to walk them through, right? And say,
Well,
hey,
and-
don't make the wrong decision. Let's get
Yeah.
you your cash. Let's make sure, and even if you can't afford this house, it's okay. We can get a payout for you. And now you can find something that's actually going to fit your budget, whether that's moving back into an apartment or finding a less expensive home. But now you've got $34,000 behind you that you didn't even know was there.
Right.
Yeah, that's huge.
And there's people, I also flip houses. So there's people that the flippers come in and they, everybody wants to make a profit, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I step in, it's either, I can help you find somebody to buy it, an investor to buy it.
Right.
I can buy it or I can help you sell it. And you're going to get the most if you have the time
That's right.
to help you sell it. But there's times when, there were people that I've helped that got these offers from whoever, and they were just really low offers, and they wouldn't then they almost didn't believe the price that I
Yeah.
told them their house was worth,
Right.
or that we could get for it. And then again, those are the people that walked away with 125,000.
That's right.
And they were maybe going to walk away with 20 before,
Yeah.
and their house wasn't as bad as they thought it was.
Well, and that's what's important about finding the right success partner, the right realtor, the right loan officer, because the education process is so important. And when you talk to the right person, they're going to guide you through and help you find things that you maybe didn't even know were there. Oh, whoops!
right.
There's $100,000 I didn't know existed. Right?
Yeah.
That's a terrible problem to
That's
have.
that's a big chunk. And then they go, where do I put it? What do I do with it?
That's right. And
You
maybe
put it in the
that's-
bank and you don't
yeah.
blow it on
Or maybe
silly
it's
things.
purchased an investment
Yeah.
property, and
Well,
I'm going to
if
help
they
you
can,
figure
yeah.
that out as well, right? How can you do that?
Sometimes they can downsize and just get a condo and they paid cash for it,
Yeah.
or get a smaller house and they paid cash for it. So
That's
those,
awesome.
Those are the old times.
Yeah,
100,000.
yeah.
I've
Just
got a
more for
quick
condo.
question for you, and this is in regards to renters, right? People that are interested in getting in the market and they're thinking about purchasing their first home, but they're scared of the market right now because the rates are higher, and their understanding is, oh, you need to wait for the rates to go down. Now, what we have been in educating people, and we believe to be is true, is that right now is actually a better time to buy because while the rates are a little higher, there's not a lot of
It's
inventory.
less competitive
It's less competitive.
for the buyers right now.
Right.
They can buy sometimes even under
Yeah.
the list price.
Yep.
And we're still seeing in certain price ranges, over bidding
It's
by
happening.
by 10, 20, 30,000, not the 100,000 that
Yeah.
it was.
Right.
But there are people that have been on the market for 30 days ago. Why is this
Yeah.
taking so long? Well,
Yeah.
I remember when 120 days was the
Yeah.
average for selling a house. Now people worry if it's
We
there
got
for
spoiled.
30 days,
Yeah.
right?
We got spoiled.
So in fact, during COVID, if it was there for 3 days, they were wondering what was wrong.
But
So
what's going to happen when the rates do move? If they move, right? If the rates go back down, that person
you
who's been
refinance.
sitting on
You
the
buy it at
fence.
today's price
Well,
and
but
refinance.
what I'm getting at more is the guy that's been sitting on the fence and goes, well, I'm going to wait till the rates go down. And he does wait till the rates go down. What's most likely going to happen?
It's going to be very competitive to get those houses because everybody's waiting for the rates to go down.
And is he
And
potentially
it's-
spending more
and
cash?
the prices are going to go up.
Yeah,
So,
so
There
they're
you
going to
go.
pay more for the home, where they could buy it cheap now. And it's not cheap, right? But they could buy low.
at today's price,
Right?
yeah.
Buy low, take a little higher interest rate, and then when that market improves, refinance it, improve their rate, and they've got the home at a cheaper price than the
Right,
last guy.
and typically they'll have equity growth already.
Yeah.
I remember when the Dallas area was like 1 to 3% growth for the longest time,
Yeah.
and I had most of my rentals here, and I thought I should have bought them in Florida because they're going 10, 12%. Well, then it reversed a little bit,
Yeah.
and they went down and we went up, and
Yeah.
so it's the trajectory of real estate is always up if you look at the last 20,
Absolutely.
30, 40
It's a
years.
safe bet.
It goes up and down, but the whole trajectory is up. So
Yeah.
it's always been that way
Yeah.
for years.
That's fantastic.
Well, Laura, I know our audience wants to know, so I'll ask this question to a lot of our guests. Hey, with all your years of in the real estate, what's the one achievement or moment that you're most proud of?
Wow, probably having my kids.
Guess what?
That's a great moment to
That
talk
is
about.
that's an awesome moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
talk about family.
I
on
think
here
I
all
was
the
even
time.
signing contracts in the hospital while I was having a baby. One of my friends were like, "What are
What are
you?"
you doing?
Anyway, I was making. Well,
Hold on 1 second. I got to
Yeah.
close this deal before I give birth. Just give me 1 minute here,
Anyway.
Doc.
No, but that's my biggest. I mean, I
That's
can't think of
awesome.
any one real estate.
Talk
I
about
mean,
that.
I having
No,
my
talk about that.
my
Talk about your
my
family.
kids are my daughter's 28, my son's 26, and they're awesome kids.
It's amazing.
Just beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of them. And we kind of have a split household. My daughter went to UT. My son went to A&M. But
There's a
we
little
love them
rivalry
all.
going
We
on
love
there.
them all. But, yeah, so
I love it.
they're
I
doing
love
very
it.
well.
What did they do?
My daughter actually works at a title company.
Very cool. Very cool.
And
Had to
my-
stay in the business.
Yeah. My son has his economics and finance degree, and he is now looking at. He's taking courses now to be a computer programmer.
Very cool.
So he can combine a lot of
Do they
different
both
things.
still live here in Dallas?
My son's in Austin, and my daughter's here in Dallas. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. And you bounce all over the place. 'Cause you got a house in
Yeah,
Austin.
yeah.
You've got homes here in Dallas.
Yeah.
And you've got homes
Florida.
in Florida as well. How often do you get out there to spend time on the beach?
Maybe once a year.
Because you're too busy closing deals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and let's start with, did the kids get to enjoy that as well? Do they get to go spend a little time in your or do you keep those all to yourself?
No, they can go anytime they want. They can go, and yeah, we've
David,
got.
now's the time to ask.
Hey, you guys want to go to the beach? Let me
Let's
know.
go. Let's do it. I'm ready. I got the car packed.
Yep.
Good
So yeah,
stuff.
they know that they got places they can go if they want to go visit, and
Yeah,
usually they want to go out of the country though. My kids
don't
really
blame 'em.
love to travel
that's cool.
out of the country. My daughter lived in Italy for
Wow.
a couple of years, and then Australia for a few years.
That's
and
awesome. Did you go
I mean,
visit?
I went to Italy.
You did?
Did not get to go to Australia. Then COVID happened.
Yeah, well,
And
good thing you didn't
so,
go. You would have been stuck,
I
right?
know. Yeah.
We had some employees that happened whenever to England and almost didn't make it back.
That
Just
would be a
right at the
fun
nick of
place to
time.
be stuck, though. I
yeah,
think.
Yeah, well, she had family there too. You know,
Okay,
so
yeah.
so she, but at the end of the day, her
Yeah.
family was here. So
Oh,
like,
yeah.
her family was there, but her
Yeah.
actual kids.
Yes.
And husband
Oh,
were here.
that-
So
yeah, that-
that's a little different
like, yes, it
situation,
is,
right?
it is.
It depends on your family situation, maybe, right?
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to be
My-
on vacation over here in England for a couple of months. But
Yeah.
no. Wow, COVID.
So-
wow, that was a wild time
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons.
A lot of things, and
How'd that work on your investment properties?
people weren't moving as much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did
they
you
kind
sell
of.
anything during COVID?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my life and my job did not change.
Yeah.
Because I work from home.
Yeah.
I was already remote that way, and I run out and show houses. So I'm on the computer at home. The only thing is we had to mask up. We had to
That's right.
sanitize.
Yep. Be safe.
Yeah.
Keep yourself safe. Keep
So-
your customers safe.
People still wanted to look. People were still buying. People were still selling.
Yeah.
There were some people that just said, "I can't have anybody in my house. I can't sell right now."
Sure.
Because we're vulnerable.
We're all
But,
virtual.
yeah.
We'll do some virtual
yeah.
sales. So did you
But,
sell any of your personal properties during COVID?
I don't think I did. I don't think I wanted to. I mean, it was right at, well, I can't say no, toward the end. I mean, when COVID was really strong, no,
Yeah.
but toward the end when the market was still up is when I sold my Crystal Beach property and
Did pretty well?
Yeah,
I
I
can
thought it was the
imagine.
right time to sell, and then it's gone up since then even a little more.
I had a
so
similar
you
experience. I
never
sold
know.
one of my properties during COVID, and at the end of the
And it
day,
still goes up.
Well, no, I headed to the peak time. It was actually perfect timing, and little did I know, I sold in winter, which is
Okay.
never the time to sell.
No, we were going
But-
strong all year.
Yeah. What had
It was
happened
very
was
unusual.
everybody had bought all summer,
Yeah.
and so those homes were all off market. So there was nothing on the market in the wintertime, and I put mine on the market, and they're going,
Yeah.
pick me.
That's another thing. There's people that our market's the strongest March through July.
That's right.
People don't really want to put their house on the market because they think it's slower, but that's when you have less competition.
That's right.
So you still have buyers all year round, but there's less for them to choose from if
Yeah.
they put on the market in the winter. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of times they want to do the schools, but if they don't have kids and they don't have to worry about schools, then you sell it in the winter if you
That's
have
right.
to. You're
Yeah, yeah.
anytime you want.
Well, I know we're getting close to wrap-up time, and one of the questions we always like to ask is there anything that we should have asked you today that we didn't?
I was thinking about that. There's a kind of a project. Like I'm always thinking of how to do bigger, better, different.
Because you're successful, and that's what us successful people do. We can't sleep.
Yeah,
We've always got to have our
That's
hands in
true.
something, right?
That's true. I had a text this morning that said, "You sent me an email at 2 a.m." I'm like, sorry.
By the way, success is a mindset.
Just be glad I
just
didn't
in
call
case
you
know.
at 2 a.m. No. But anyway, so I have this commercial building in Cleburne, Texas that
I know Cleburne.
I bought it, and it was an old nursing home, and it needs a lot of work. But I bought it with a couple partners, and then we couldn't decide, we couldn't agree and decide what we really wanted to do with it, so I bought them out. So I have this building that I was thinking, and I just talked to someone the other day about setting a 501c3 up for like veterans, like maybe homeless veterans.
Very cool.
This place needs a lot of work, but I'm thinking of, how to get it, how to pull it off, and who can run it, who can help me, but just like
That's
a
amazing.
place for veterans.
That's amazing. Yeah. So now you're giving back.
So you
a
didn't
little
know
bit.
that about me.
I didn't. I didn't. I'm glad I asked the question, right? Because you never know what you're going to hear. Sometimes that's where the best stuff comes out, right?
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. That you get an opportunity. You've had success. You've had your own personal success. You're
I just
helping
want to
people.
do something. Yeah, I feel like I want to do
And now
something
you're giving
bigger than
something
me,
back.
bigger, better.
No,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We talk about core values and family, but also giving back to the communities, right?
And bigger than us,
Yeah,
bigger
that's
than what we can
100%, 100%. The legacy, what you get to leave behind, and do with the things that you've done to create your personal success. Now you can turn around and help others. That's beautiful. I love that.
So I'm still trying to figure that one out and how to pull it off. But
You're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You're going to make it happen. That's the whole thing, is that when we believe in something and we know in our hearts it's what we've got to do, we're, and successful people, like I said, it's a mindset. We'll always find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you,
Like-hearted,
guys.
like-minded. I
Yeah.
love this.
That's right.
Well, Lori, if somebody's out there and they want to get their first home, or they want to find their first investment property,
Or their
and they need
50th home,
they need that education on how to make the right decisions. How do they find you out there? What's the best way to contact Lori?
The actual best way to contact me is I answer my phone. That's another thing I tell brand new agents.
Yeah.
Answer your phone.
Always answer the phone.
Answer the phone.
Yeah, we created
Or
a
call 'em
concierge.
back. Call
We
'em
created
back
a
right
concierge queue. So
Yeah.
even when our loan officers aren't available, it transitions to the concierge queue. That way, somebody's always picking up.
Right.
That's so important. You're right. That's
So
a
you can
great
call
tip.
me, you can text me, and the number is
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's go.
972-897-9273.
Roll that back one more time.
972-897-WARD, W-A-R-D is what it really is.
There it is. I like it. I like it. That's fantastic.
Got that years ago.
Yeah, I've got
When
a
you
couple of
could
those too, right?
when you could do that.
I've got a USDA number. It ends in
Yeah.
USDA, right?
Oh,
For
there
one of
you
our
go.
USDA
That's great.
programs. So,
And I like that program too.
Yeah.
That's a zero down for
Zero
people
down.
that's
well,
awesome.
and zero down, but we also do it on one-time close. So think about that. Trying to redevelop rural America, right? A USDA one-time close. So you've got somebody who traditionally doesn't think they can find a great home for them and their family, and now the USDA says you can do it with no money out of pocket, and you can build from scratch. And a lot of the times we have the ability to roll the first 6 months of payments in there while the home's being constructed, so they're not even making payments.
Yeah,
Well, it's such a great
It
program.
is a very good, it's a great program. It is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for letting me plug that, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and close this one out today. We're your Real Estate Success Partners. I'm Devin Dubuque.
I'm David Wind.
And if you want to check us out, you can check us out at www.realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. And we'd love it if you'd follow. And we absolutely appreciate those 5-star reviews. But again, guys, thanks for stopping in. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.